So welcome to day one. I can see we've got a lot of people probably asking the question, what is the FinTech Actuator and what does this partnership mean for everybody here? So maybe, Ashima, if I can start with yourself, what is the prepaid incubator program and what value did MasterCard see in sponsoring an initiative and bringing it to life?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I think in the simplest form, this incubator program is really designed to help startups and help fintechs launch a card program quickly to market. That is the simplest form of describing this program. But what it's really made up of is the help and support that comes with it, and hence the word incubator. So if I put it into perspective, like I mentioned, my team and I, we're constantly talking to fintechs, we're constantly problem solving and talking about how we can help them take their products to market. And the few challenges that we come across all the time. And then the first one there is really around the current economic environment. The cost of capital is really high in the current environment. Funding is a bit tight, so there's not a room to play. There's a lot of constraint in terms of how much experimentation can happen with those funds. The second thing we hear from fintechs around is speed. Speed is really key. You want to be able to have things in market, to be able to iterate and be agile with that. So that's another thing we've considered in this. The third key thing is around the product market fit. We understand that you've got to be able to have a product in market. That is the best way to really test out your product. You want the product in your customer's hands. You want it to be tangible. You want a product to have your brand on it, and then you get that feedback, which is really valuable feedback. And imagine walking into a VC's office and having a tangible physical product and a digital product with your brand on it that's actually working and in market. There's nothing like it. It's priceless, to say. And then the fourth thing really is the knowledge and education around that, right? There's a lot of fintechs that sort of take the leap into this space, but they don't actually understand what their responsibilities might be, what their ongoing long-term commitment is in this space. So this program really is designed to give you a fast path into the market. It's designed to give you that sandbox environment to test, learn, and experiment, test your product market fit. And it's okay if you fail. You know, you're not losing your house over it. So it's really designed to support you with that, but also in partnership, you know, MasterCard in partnership with Change Financial, bringing in the technology and the capability and that support, and FinTech Actuator bringing in years of experience in launching these programs. So it's really that holistic experience to give you support all the way through this journey. And from MasterCard perspective, obviously MasterCard does a lot of work in driving innovation in payments, so that's not news. But what we do understand is that innovation happens in partnership and in collaboration, and we need to welcome the new starters. We need to really create room. So as incumbents, it's our responsibility to create room for that co-creation and innovation together to drive payments further into the future.
Brilliant, thank you. And I think we were talking about this last night. As a startup, as an organisation, you know, one of the things that's always a challenge is you've got a great idea. Right, but you know, great ideas don't necessarily mean a great outcome. And I think it's not only the ability to support fintech organisations, and it's not just fintech, right? I think we were talking about this. This is for any organisation that's looking to experiment with cards, and I think that's core to this component. But it's also the mentorship that you provide, because you know it's like me. I'm definitely not. I don't work for a fintech, and I've thought about it, and then I thought probably not an idea. But, you know, I would need that mentorship. I would need support, and I would need help from people around me, and that's the core to this component. So, Vinny, I've worked alongside of you for such a long time, and you know you've always inspired the people around you, and it's been a pleasure. I'm not getting paid to say that. But you know, what excites you most about this? You know, and what opportunities do you think this opens up for organisations?
Oh, thanks, Simone. Look, what's most exciting about this is just the opportunity. Look, we're quite lucky to be partnering with MasterCard, but as great a partner MasterCard has been, it's been a challenge for us to get our issuing capability out in market, and there's all these things that you've got to manage for a card program around regulatory, PCI DSS, the technology stack that we've got with Vertex on, having all that pulled together, and then you've got AML, CTF and fraud to worry about. The barrier for entry to get cards out in market is high. And the great work that MasterCard does, it's still things that sit outside their control that makes it difficult. And we've been on a great journey, but it's taken a lot of money, it's taken a lot of expertise that startups don't have. When there's 2 or 3 people together punching code out and they've got a great idea, they don't have the financial capability to go and invest tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars to get a product to market. So being able to lean on a tech platform, a scheme like MasterCard or that practical operational expertise that Tim brings, you've suddenly got this team behind you that you could never have paid for as part of a startup. And you get this opportunity to take that idea and make it tangible and get over those hurdles that exist, in part to protect you, but you've got now this great team behind you that wants you to be successful, but also is there to hold your hand if something goes wrong and help you when you falter, and you will. People make missteps. Most of us have been involved in a startup, and you have some tough days, but having that team behind you that you normally wouldn't have is really exciting. So I can't wait to see the ideas that people were maybe holding back, going, it's not ready, I don't have the money to do it all the time. Now we want to see that flourish.
Brilliant. No, thank you, Vinny. And Tim, day one, my friend. I'm sure you're going to have many more day ones. You definitely don't want a day two. Day two is usually the day you don't want to have. We spoke about this last night. You've got such a wealth of knowledge, and this program is so important to so many people. I would love if you could share more about what this program is bringing to the table and how you plan to support those organisations.
Yeah, thank you. The FinTech Actuator acts as a program manager. So my door and our door is open to provide a service for those that have ideas that may or may not relate to payments and cards. And those ideas, over my years, some have been amazing ideas. Others have been crazy ideas. But sometimes I do wonder about it. But I'm not here, or as the FinTech Actuator, to be a filter about those ideas, because we're all about innovation. And what we're providing is, as a program manager, is an opportunity to test that idea live in the marketplace, and as was mentioned earlier, to potentially buy a coffee of one of the investors in your potential business to validate and then learn and then go back and launch. Or validate, learn, fail, go back, pivot, come back, launch, and everything else that goes with innovation. And the FinTech Actuator and the program that we offer is a 6 to 9 month program. So it does have a period of time that's controlled and is supported by not just through the MasterCard and through Change, but we also have a number of other ecosystem players and supporters and others that provide professional services. So we try to be a one-stop shop, as a program manager does, to crazy ideas, I guess. Day two.
Okay, so we did touch on this, but and maybe I can ask this to the wider panel, but I'll start with Vinny. Who does this program really tailor itself towards?
Look, it's an interesting question, and we were trying to sort of narrow it down, and it's probably best not to do that. Look, if someone's out there doing a pure payments play, they've probably been on this journey and they've already talked to Ashima and her team, or talked to me and my team here. But there's going to be a lot of opportunities that are payment adjacent. So they'll have maybe an existing product in market. It might be an SME lender. They might have another financial product, and they think, I'd love to tag on payments. And then they go have a chat and go, God, that payment space is scary and I don't know enough. We want to try and hit those. So it may not be a fintech. It might be a corporate that's got an innovation centre that just wants to go and try payments. So we're happy to look at those opportunities, because even within a larger organisation, you might just have a small budget that you can apply to try and bring an idea to market. And so we're open. We're not going to turn people away to say you're in the wrong industry. If there's a need, or you think there's a need around card payments that would help your customers or your product, then we're open to it.
Brilliant. And maybe Ashima, obviously you might align with what Vinny's got, but it'd be great to see your perspective as well on who those customer profiles are.
I think a variety. So we're already talking to a number of fintech partners. A lot of conversations have happened already today about prospects, and obviously it's an exclusive program, so we will have a number of conversations, and we want to make sure the right fintechs are selected, but also larger programs or larger corporates, or whether it's in retail industry, whether it's in some other form of industry. But we're open to all aspects, because we obviously want to make sure we're giving opportunity and creating opportunity for innovation and that experimentation. So we're quite open.
And maybe Tim, over to yourself.
Yeah, thank you. Some of the interesting areas I've had conversations on recently come from all spokes from loyalty, recognition, reward, disbursements, but they all have one thing in common, which is using a digital platform, and it needs to be quick, it needs to be safe, it needs to be secure. And when people come and they say, well, you know, what's so hard about launching a card program? I just normally get it in the post from the bank and it's working. And not having that understanding of the complexities as we do on the background to make it from a regulatory, from a technology, from a payments, from the rails to the scheme, to the enabler, to the processor, and all of the above is what I take on board, or we take on board at the FinTech Actuator, to manage all of that, so it's all in a box, basically. It's basically one FinTech Actuator program in a box that they can sign up for, and depending on their needs, some can be quite simple, some can be advanced, and some can be quite complex. And so the discussions that we have with each and every founder or an entrepreneur is different, but they all want to make a change.
Brilliant, thank you, Tim. And Ashima, maybe I can direct this at you. You spoke to the need for incumbents to provide service like this and support the ecosystem. So what access to MasterCard do participants get?
No, great question. So I think from MasterCard perspective, our mission really is to connect and power the digital economy that's inclusive and accessible to everyone through really providing that, you know, the payment ecosystem which enables safe, secure, seamless payments that are accessible. So that is really our mission. And what we do is we continuously drive innovation in that space. And when we speak about innovation, it's not really innovation in delivering differentiated customer experiences or taking new products to market. That innovation is also around the security and layer of trust. So we're constantly driving innovation in our cyber and intelligence space because it's so important to make sure we have the right fraud mitigation strategies. Our customers are able to report on the things that they're supposed to report on from a compliance perspective. So we see that as an innovation space as well. The other thing is obviously we are across 200 countries and territories. That obviously means we have the ability to provide that global access to the right fintechs that are ready to have that, you know, outreach. We are able to provide them connections as they're opening up different markets and different channels. That's another aspect. The other thing to look at is the billions of transactions that we see. So what that means is we're able to enrich our data as it comes to our open banking capabilities, or if it comes to our data and services capabilities around providing you, you know, access to insights or providing you access in right decision making. The other opportunity we also have is obviously we are on ground here in Australia. We have 1,000 people on ground in the tech hub. We have the labs that can really help drive that innovation. We actually work with a lot of fintechs where we help them take you know, an idea all the way to a prototype in a matter of 5 days. So there's lots of ways we can help the fintechs, but I think most importantly, it's really about working with them, supporting them, and helping them based on what their needs are and depending on the stage that they're at.
Brilliant. And Tim, maybe if you could share, what does that application process look like? Because I imagine that this is something that, you know, it's day one, but 12 months from now we're going to be talking about it, and you're going to get a lot of people that are coming to you, small, large, you know, startups that are going to wanting to be part of this. How do they go through that application process?
Yeah, thanks. At the moment, it's a simple get in touch through the FinTech Actuator website. And then I look forward, and the team looks forward to having a conversation with each and every one of you to understand what you're thinking and what's motivating you to think about using a card program or card payments into your solution. And then through that process, we then can decide maybe what could be an option going forward. And so the application can be, we want to make it as affordable as possible. It's you know, something that can be managed to try, test, and come back and try and test again. Yeah, so we want to keep the whole application process simple and quick. And so when it comes to our pipeline already, even though it's day one, I'm pleased to say that we've got quite a few already in it, with a strong interest last night and earlier today, and looking forward to ongoing conversations with them. But by its very nature, innovation is unique. So everyone has a different view, a different angle, different potential market that they're looking at. Some might be towards businesses, others to consumer, others might be in charity, others might be in gifting, and it comes from so many different areas, these wonderful ideas. Yeah,
yeah, brilliant. I feel as though this partnership is, you know, I'm surprised it's probably not happened in the market before, and I'm sure there is other opportunities, but, you know, this is, you know, a first of its kind because, you know, even with the limited knowledge, you know, I've been working in financials for a long time, this is something that has come up many, many times in conversations, and it's like retrospectively you think about it and go, this makes a lot of sense. So, you know, maybe on the closing remarks, you know, what do we, you know, this partnership is, again, first of its kind. What are you hoping to achieve from this one, Vinny, and what do you want to see that end game look like?
Look, so I want to see the innovative ideas come to life, but I don't just want to see everyone win all the time. I think you do want to see people win and you want to help them be successful, but you also want to see people try something maybe a little bit crazy. I think it's a term you used earlier. And some of those are going to come off and some of them aren't. But we don't want to put people under that financial strain where that loss can crush their business. You want them to come back and have another go. So it's about fostering that innovation. And success looks like someone going through the graduation process, is to say, I've done my 6 to 9 months here, the product makes sense, we can grow it, and then you come and work with Change and MasterCard and we'll grow you into a fully fledged program and want to see that go through the Australian market and maybe even global. If we could have 2 or 3 of those over the next year, that would be amazing. That's what success feels like for me.
For us, for MasterCard, I think for us it's about really our commitment to supporting the fintech ecosystem in Australia. It's really about showcasing that here, we are here, we've got your back, you have the freedom to play, you have the freedom to test, learn, experiment, and it's okay if you fail, and the cost of failure is not that high. So we're here to back you, and we are here to support you through the, you know, capabilities that we have and the capabilities that we can bring for you. So it's really about support to nurture the ecosystem. And there will be some wins, there will be some failures, but they're all okay and everything is welcome. And I think that's what it really means for us. It's a support component.
Thanks. No, very clearly, everyone's going to be a unicorn, okay? So it's clear.
Would you say a priceless unicorn?
Yeah, priceless. Absolutely. Success is going to come in so many different ways. That success could come in failure as much as success has come in launching a program. But success, as I see it, is that the founders and the startups and those with ideas, crazy or not, are given an opportunity to test and validate into the marketplace and come back and learn. And that learning can be, no, it's not right for whatever reason, or yes, it is. And I have the confidence and I have the validation for it to move forward. And then the next step is to use that feedback so that they can go and generate and raise funds to support the next step, because when it comes to investors, they will be looking closely at validation to support a business idea. And if that business idea is validated in a live environment, their chances of getting that funds greatly increase.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much. You know, it's actually been such a pleasure to learn about this program, and it's a really feel-good conversation that we get to support so many organisations that you know, potentially do have crazy ideas, but just need some help along the way. Just for the closing remarks, how can people get in contact with each of you? Do we have like a consolidated QR? No, or something like that?
Well, firstly, Tim will talk to anyone. So just find Tim, he'll talk your ear off.
Yeah,
but look,
I'm around for the next couple of days and nights.
Yeah.
So look, but look, seriously, jump on the FinTech Actuator website, but come talk to Change, come talk to MasterCard if you know people there. We'll funnel you through. We're just really looking for people to jump on, but there's a form on the website for FinTech Actuator. Put your details in, put your crazy idea down there, we'll get in touch and go through the application process.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Hopefully that was great, informative, and I just want to say thank you to this great panel today. It's been a wonderful, it's been a pleasure to get to know all of you. I've known you for a very long time, Vinny, but it's been a pleasure to meet you all and see this great actuator come to process.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.